Yes, I know, Santi did this today too. He literally uploaded it while I was editing this.
You'll have to forgive my gross appearance. I just got done at the gym. It was leg day, and I don't think I can stand back up right now. Hey everyone, it's Xander, and welcome back to Wrestle Luigi. Today we're doing a video that I tried to do a couple of weeks ago, and then I didn't like how it turned out. Welcome to who I think should dethrone every current champion in the WWE from Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. We're going to bookend it with the Men's World Champions, which means we are going to start it with the new World Heavyweight Champion, Der General Gunther, who we now know is going to be facing Randy Orton in just a few days' time in Bash in Berlin, which is really exciting. That, only outdated a video that I made 2 hours before I even released it. Anyway, Gunther just won the World Heavyweight title, so I don't see him losing it anytime soon. However, if Gunther is going to lose the World Championship before WrestleMania, I see him losing it around the Royal Rumble or later this year around Survivor Series, and I see him losing the World Heavyweight Championship to Drew McIntyre. I see Drew McIntyre as the right person to take that championship from Gunther because I see Drew as the guy to carry it into WrestleMania 41. I think we're going to get the big Seth Rollins, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre triple threat matchup at WrestleMania 41, potentially even in the main event of Night 1. And I think Drew walking in as champion gives a better purpose to Rollins and Punk both chasing the gold. Rollins because Drew and Punk cost him his chance to win the championship back from Damian Priest. Punk because he's wanted a world title for God knows how long. And of course, Drew has been seeking this world title for so long, and him getting the upper hand on Punk and Rollins by taking it into WrestleMania feels like the best way to get to that triple threat. I feel like it makes more sense with a heel walking in with both Rollins and Punk as the good guys, Seth kind of in the middle, or Punk kind of in the middle, just depending on how you want to look at it. But yes, I think Gunther loses the World Heavyweight Championship to Drew McIntyre, and I say he loses it around Survivor Series, maybe Royal Rumble time, somewhere around there. I feel like it's time. I feel like the World Heavyweight Championship for at least the next year or so is going to be the one that changes hands a little more frequently because, spoiler alert, Cody ain't losing the WWE Championship for a while. So, one of the titles that's a little weirder to talk about, the WWE Speed Championship. It's currently held by Andrade, but they couldn't even bother to give him a proper render with it. It's just photoshopped in front of him, and I don't even really know what to say about that. But they have this big 16-person or 8-person tournament, however many it is. It's 8. They have this big 8-person tournament going on right now. I know Javon Evans just advanced today, and Joaquin Wilde advanced last week, which shocked me that he beat Axiom. It's weird that I actually keep up with Speed a little bit. But then Pete Dunne, I think, has already moved on as well, and so the last person either going to be Austin Theory or Montez Ford, probably Austin Theory. But out of those 4 names, I think Andrade will probably drop it to whoever wins the tournament. I don't think it'll be Pete Dunne. I don't think it'll be Javon Evans. I suppose by process of elimination, that would mean either Joaquin Wilde or Austin Theory. I don't really like any of those options. So let's just say Javon Evans. I feel like you could build him as the speed guy. I feel like that's a really cool idea. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Moving on, I've given the Speed title almost the full WWE Speed match length of time talking about it anyway. We're going to talk about the other non-branded championship here. We're going to talk about the Unholy Union's Women's World Tag Team titles. Women's Tag Team Championships. Leg day. It's messing with the brain, man. Alba Fire and Aladon, I'm very happy that they have the championships. I really like the two of them. However, I think that they're going to be losing the titles sooner rather than later, unfortunately. Now, I feel like the common thought is that Jade and Bianca are just going to take them back. The Unholy Union did just add Blair Davenport to the mix, which I think is very exciting. We're seeing a lot more trios forming in the women's division, which is really exciting, and in the men's division as well. I'll talk on that maybe in another video about should WWE add 6-man tag team titles, or why I think they should. Because, spoilers, I think they should. But I'm on a completely different topic here. The Unholy Union, I'm going to say that Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark are going to be your next women's tag team champions. It kind of feels like everybody gets a turn with the gold at some point, And so it feels like Shayna and Zoe are the next team that's been around the longest without getting a run with the gold. So we'll say them. We'll quickly run through the NXT titles now, just to get them out of the way and get on to the good stuff. I say that I actually really do enjoy NXT. But that being said, the Heritage Cup, Charlie Dempsey's challenging for it next week. I don't think he's winning it. I kind of have a feeling that this whole Ren Sinclair thing is going to be an inside job, and she's actually working for Tony D, and she's going to help Tony D beat Charlie Dempsey and this, that, and all the others. So I'm going to say that Tony D'Angelo is going to lose that Heritage Cup to Oro Menza. Why? Because Noam Dar had that Heritage Cup for so long. So let's have it be a way to elevate Oro Menza. Why not? NXT Tag Team titles. I would have bet money that MSK was going to win those titles last night. I would have lost a lot of money because I would not have believed Wesley was going to turn heel last night. That was incredibly shocking. I did a live reaction to it here on this channel. This is where live reactions are found now. And it's odd because next week they're going to be challenged by Andre Chase and Rich Holland, Chase U. And I don't feel like those two are going to win the titles either. And it feels like Nathan Frazier and Axiom are going through every tag team now on the NXT roster. So at this point, it's like, who's left on the NXT roster to even take those titles from them? I would have said the Good Brothers. I would have said MSK. I would have said anyone by this point. But you know what I think I'm going to say? I think I'm going to say Chase U is going to take those titles, but not Andre Chase and Rich Holland. I think it's going to be Andre Chase and Duke Hudson after Rich Holland has left the group, been expelled from the university, turned his back on them. I kind of hope he doesn't. I actually really enjoy Ridge with them. It feels like he has in good direction. He fits in really well. I would like to see it be kind of like a Duke Hudson situation where nobody trusts him at first and now they all trust him, but, we'll see what happens. I'm gonna say Andre Chase and Duke Hudson win those titles back, though. Kalani Jordan's Women's North American title is a very interesting one as well, because it's very hard to think of who's going to take it from her. But I feel like the Women's North American title is going to be the one that's for the more up-and-coming people, the people that are more homegrown, like Kalani Jordan. So I'm going to go with a homegrown name in Fallon Henley. And is that just me trying to wishfully will it into existence because I really like Fallon Henley? Yeah, I'll admit that. That's exactly the case. I really like Fallon Henley. I would personally really like to see her with the championship. Please and thank you, Shawn Michaels, Chef Michaels. I would appreciate it. The Men's North American title held by Obafemi. I see vacant being who beats Obafemi for that title. I think eventually Obafemi is going to win both the North American and the NXT main titles. A very Keith Lee situation there, which, Keith Lee might be coming back to WWE is what I've word on the street is that his AEW contract is up, but that's a topic for a different day, isn't it? But I very well see Obafemi doing the Keith Lee kind of spot there where he wins both titles and then vacates the North American one. But that's no fun just to say, oh yeah, it's just going to be vacated. So let's talk about who I think should be the next North American champion after Obafemi vacates the title, assuming that he's going to, win the championship or drop the championship. I say then you run a tournament and Nathan Frazier and Axiom, who have imploded after this whole, I want to be a singles guy. We can't both be singles guys and be a tag team. You're right, we can't. Welcome to what recording an episode of Universe looks like. After they've imploded because of that, I say you do a tournament where they're the finals, and I say you give Nathan Frazier the North American Championship. I say that because Axiom has always kind of had more of the spotlight out of the two of them, and I feel like Nathan Frazier, if you give him the spotlight, I feel like there's something there. I feel like we're seeing a lot more personality out of him, and I've really enjoyed what we've seen from Nathan Frazier lately. He's very much one of my favorites on NXT week to week. I loved his little bit last night where Ethan Page was like, yeah, where was your partner? And he was like, I don't know where my partner is. That's a good question. So I'm going to say Nathan Frazier, after Obafemi drops the title through vacating it, is your next NXT North American champion. Roxanne Perez's NXT Women's Championship, though. That is a tough one, because they keep building up all these names that they've gotten now. They've gotten, Stephanie Vaquer. They've got Julia. They've got, I cannot remember her name from Australia, and I do apologize for that. Signed now, and a lot of new names are coming in. However, I know I said the Women's North American title feels like what's going to be the homegrown title. I feel like you have Roxanne Perez beat all of those names. She beats Julia. She beats Stephanie Vaquer. She beats the one from Australia, whose name I can't remember right now for some reason. And then she drops the title to a homegrown babyface in Sol Ruca. Because then you have the noble champion Sol Ruca, who you could easily do a very Johnny Gargano-style story of she's in over her head and she loses the title very quickly to one of these more established names. So it's kind of like what they did with Trick Williams and Ethan Page, actually. I feel like that's what you do with the women's title. And finally, the NXT Men's Champion Ethan Page. I feel like there's a lot of options. I've heard the idea of maybe Trick beating him on the first episode of the CW in a few weeks. I've heard people talking about maybe building someone like a Javon Evans up, but I feel like you just gotta say his name.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Head.
Back to the main roster. The Bloodline just won the WWE Tag Team Championships, Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu. That is, we don't know what the status on Jacob Fatu's injury is at the time of this video, so it could be Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa serving as champions soon, which is probably what it should have been in the first place, because of what I'll say in a minute here. But anyways, I don't see the Bloodline dropping these tag team titles anytime soon. However, when they do inevitably drop the WWE tag team titles on SmackDown, I feel like there's quite a few options for who could take those championships from them. It's got to be a babyface team, obviously. Got to be a set of good guys that take those titles from them. I would love to see DIY get those championships back, but I don't see that being the case. The Street Profits, they've been feuding and losing with the Bloodline for a while now. And a little bit of a bold one here. I'm going to say the reunited Usos, Jimmy and Jay, are going to take the WWE Tag Team titles, which rolls right into the World Tag Team titles. Finn Balor and JD McDonough, the new Judgment Day, are going to lose those titles almost immediately to Sami Zayn and Jey Uso. I know what you're thinking. Jay is champion on both brands. That's what I'm saying. That is exactly what I'm saying. Is Jey Uso double tag team champ? He's got Sami Zayn on one side and he's got Jimmy on the other. They don't really trust each other after everything that happened. But Sami, he wants to forgive Jimmy. And Jay is the bridge that brings them all back together under the original tribal chief. Everyone said it was the one true chief, or the one tribal chief, or the only tribal chief. They called it the original tribal chief this week, which I said at the SummerSlam watch-along, and everyone said I was wrong. Throw them up! Throw the ones up for Xander being right that it was the original tribal chief is what OTC stands for. He's the over-the-counter original tribal chief. And Sami Zayn and Jey Uso are your next World Tag Team Champions. Which brings us to the United States Championship, currently held by LA Knight. Yeah! LA not only just won the title, I see him holding on to it for a little while. I think there's a lot of potential fun feuds there. AJ Styles, Andrade. SmackDown is just loaded with some of the best wrestlers on WWE TV right now. I mean, you got other names in there. Carmelo Hayes is in there. You got Kevin Owens in there. You got a bunch of people I'd love to just see get a shot at LA Knight. But I think it is only a matter of time. Unfortunately, very similar to DIY winning those WWE Tag Team titles. I think it is only a matter of time before Jacob Fatu storms in and steamrolls LA Knight as well. And Jacob Fatu is probably your next United States champion. That's the one title that the Bloodline has never had. Well, that and the Intercontinental title, I suppose. But they've never had a mid-card title in the Bloodline. Outside of that one time, Solo was the North American champion, but he only had it for like a week. So all of that being said, Jacob Fatu, you can quote me on it, Jacob Fatu is your next United States champion. That brings us over to the Intercontinental title on Raw, where Braun Breaker is the current Intercontinental champion, and he is someone who I see holding that title for a while. Braun is not dropping that Intercontinental title anytime soon. He is probably going to hold it for the rest of the year. He is probably going to hold it till at least WrestleMania. They are going to build him as the next big thing with this. And I think if anyone is beating him for this championship that isn't someone new brought into the company or someone returning, like a Keith Lee, like an Aleister Black, like someone like that, I think that you do Braun and Ilya at WrestleMania, and you have Ilya finally get a win over Braun, because Braun has had Ilya's number in every match they've ever had. So have Ilya be the one to beat Braun. The story is right there. He is 0-2 against Braun. Build that rematch up. Have Ilya lose at Bash in Berlin. And just tell this story, essentially, of Rocky rising back. What they did with Sammy against Gunther, I guess, actually, now that I'm saying it out loud. But yes, Ilya Dragunov should be your next Intercontinental Champion. On to the two women's top titles. The WWE Women's Championship, Nia Jax has got it. I mentioned this the other day. I feel like I'm in the vocal minority of people who really like that Nia Jax is champion. I've really enjoyed it. I'm not doing the whole bit that I did the other day where I did the slow zoom in on my face while I was telling everyone that I don't want to hear the jokes about how often she used to botch. We get it. Anyways, Nia, I don't feel like is a transitional champion. I feel like she's holding this for a little while. Until Charlotte Flair gets back and takes it from her. I mean, like, the status quo is there. Charlotte, she is either going to return and win a title, or she is holding a title. That is the two states of Charlotte Flair. She is either returning to win a title, or she is currently a champion, and she's not had that gold one yet, and she wants it. So yeah, I hate to say it, Charlotte is probably your next WWE Women's Champion. Final two titles of the video. The WWE Women's World Championship held by Liv Morgan. And you can see that these last titles are going by a lot quicker because it feels a lot more obvious. And it feels like the end goal here is Rhea and Liv at WrestleMania 41. Give the We Want Liv people what they wanted last year at 40. I didn't get it at the time. Now that Liv's a bad guy, now that she's a heel with Dom, I really enjoy her work. I actually really like the Liv and Dom stuff. It's a lot of fun. I like her as part of the Bad Judgment Day, new Bad Judgment Day, I guess. I really enjoy it. I like her a lot more than I used to. But I think the end goal here is Rhea beating Liv and getting her revenge, and as well as getting her revenge on Dominic. I feel like this is going all the way to WrestleMania with this Judgment Day Civil War. I mean, it's August now, so that's, what, another 4 months? 4 months till the end of the year. That's another, 8 months? I know Triple H pretty well at this point. I mean, like, you know, I feel like Paul and I know each other. This is a fake photo, by the way. Paul and I know each other pretty well by this point, I would imagine. So, you know, like, I mean, he calls into the live streams. He's like, you don't know anything about me, Xander. You don't actually know what I'm doing here, then. You don't know what I'm cooking in the kitchen with Chef Sean. And he'll do that kind of stuff, but I know how he books. So I say we've got this Judgment Day feud to look forward to for another 8 months. And it'll all wrap up at WrestleMania with Rhea Ripley regaining the Women's World Championship. And finally, the WWE Championship, Cody Rhodes. Who is he going to lose that championship to? Well, I'll tell you, I don't really know. And that's the cool part about it, is I don't really know. Cody's going to hold that title through WrestleMania 41 at least, right? He's going to hold it for a while. And along the way, he's going to fight The Rock. Throw the L's up for the final boss. He's going to fight The Rock. He's going to have the rematch with Roman. Throw the ones up for for the original Tribal Chief. Right. And there's a lot of people on Raw or on SmackDown for him to fight at this point, right? He's fought AJ Styles already. But you got a lot of names. If you can somehow keep Bobby Lashley, which I think WWE is stupid for not doing if they lose him, Lashley and Cody would be a great match. I want to see Cody Rhodes versus Jake Fatu. I want to see Kevin Owens go heel and challenge Cody. Randy and Cody is obviously right there. There is still another year's worth of stories on SmackDown for Cody without the final boss being there. And then come draft next year, you can bring other names to SmackDown to face Cody. Imagine Drew facing Cody for the title. Imagine Seth and Cody running it back. Karrion Kross and Cody running it back, I guess. Not running it back, but having a match, I guess. I don't know. So I'm going to go with something a little bold here to wrap us up. I think Cody doesn't lose that WWE Championship until SummerSlam 2025, where he's going to lose it to Braun Breaker, the King of the Ring winner from 2025. I mean, you want to make Braun Breaker one of your new top guys. I know that they're saying he's going to be one of the top guys of the Netflix era. Just swap your world champions around in 2025. Just do it. You haven't swapped the world titles around on shows in like, what, 5, 6 years at that point? Shake up some titles. Why not? Have Braun Breaker beat Cody at SummerSlam next year. Do it. Build him as the next top star by having him demolish Cody. So that's who I think is going to be the next person to hold each championship in WWE. But tell me what you think. Tell me what you think of these picks. Tell me what else you want to see. What do you want to see me rank? What do you want to see me fantasy book? We'll get to the how I would book stuff sooner or later. Writing fantasy bookings just takes a lot. But hey, be sure to drop a thumbs up. Be sure to drop a subscribe as well as that little notification bell. And check me out on all of my other channels. I have a lot of them. I do a lot of things here. I am an undiagnosed workaholic, don't you know? Anyways, I feel like I'm recovered enough from the gym to go take a shower. So, I'll see you all for the next WrestleLuigi video.